Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is Wednesday evening, or if you're a camel in a commercial, it's hump day. And we are back in the basement to talk the good, nerdy talk. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. Brace yourselves. I do believe we have a fun stream. I hope you are ready for it. But if you're not, here's how you get ready. You fill your cup and you light your smoke because it's time to get nerdy. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the basement here on this Wednesday evening. I hope everyone's doing well. We got Brooke up in here. We got Spicy Dan and Griff just rolled in. What's happening? How is everyone doing? How has the beginning of your week been? I'm gonna warn you in advance, chat. Warn you in advance. Chillin forgot to take his meds this morning. So, things could get interesting in ways I have absolutely no idea. What could happen? None. Zip zero zip. I could be normal. I could be even way more easily distracted than I normally am. I could hyper focus on one thing and yap about it for like way too fucking long. I could completely lose my shit and fully crack out. You never know. When I forget my meds, it's not that I feel some kind of way. I feel every kind of way. So what's up with y'all? That's what's up with me. What's up with y'all? What is crack-a-lack in chat? You know, Brooke's driving. Sometimes I confuse myself, chat. Sometimes I confuse myself. Where the fuck did I put that? What the hell? I don't even know what's happening anymore, chat. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. I know why. Okay. All right. Well, since you guys have so much to talk about, suppose we should get right into it. Now that I've stared blankly at one of my monitors for about 2 minutes and everyone fucking clicked off the video, live or replay. By the way, if you did hang around and you have not yet done so, please hit the like. And if you're new, go ahead and also hit the subscribe and the bell. That applies to live and replay. But replay, I have a special job for you guys. Okay? You got to hit the like. And if you haven't yet, you got to hit the subscribe and the bell. But you also need to leave comments down below. I want to know what you're thinking, whether you agree or disagree with me. Tell me all about it. Yeah. Tell me all about how I'm either very smart or very dumb. And if it's the former, I'll agree with you. And if it's the latter, I'll prove you wrong. Little palps there for you. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. So, also, just real quick, if I all of a sudden, like, excuse myself and you see me go trotting off on my heels because I had Thai for dinner, and I don't want to shit myself live like our president did that one day. Yep. So, I had Thai for dinner. It was delicious. I enjoyed it very much. But my guts are bubbling. So, we'll see how that goes, too. All right, well, enough about intestinal things and that kind of stuff. Shall we, chat? We're just going to kind of roll through my bookmarks as I saw the stories. That's how we'll talk about it. Okay? Okay. So, first up is the following. Now, this comes from Chris over at 3C Films. Evidently, people talk to him too. And what we have here is some details on the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer whenever the fuck they decide to put it out. Oh, by the way, did Chillin not say after the Super Bowl? Yes, Chillin did. Now, Chillin also said that it was 99.9% positive that there would be a Doomsday trailer. And then the story came out that there wasn't. And I was like, that's fucking dumb. They should change their mind. And obviously they didn't. So I was wrong about that. I will own that L. But I'm also going to take my dub from when I said the Brand New Day trailer wasn't going to come out until after the Super Bowl. It was just, I was right for the wrong reason. I thought it was going to be because, Doomsday trailer sucking all the air out of the room. Everyone only giving a fuck about Doctor Doom. because we'd have seen him. So that I was wrong about, but not seeing it till after Super Bowl, dead on, baby. Dead on, baby. So now I don't know how many of you saw the leaked trailer. Back when, well, on either of the two times it got out, that bitch got out twice. Now, just going off memory, because obviously I couldn't. Actually, there might have been a way I could have saved it. God damn it. Anyway, since it got sniped, I'm just going kind of off of memory. But I can tell you already there's some differences between what was leaked and this, but that's actually kind of to be expected because that was a very early cut of the trailer. And of course, these studios always do multiple cuts of trailers, you know, experimenting, seeing what they think works or what they think will work and what they think won't work. So, evidently, the leaked one was an early version. And allegedly, what we're about to go over is going to be much closer to what we actually see whenever we finally get to see it. Okay? You ready? Here we go. And again, this is from a source that got a hold of Chris at 3C Films. Item number 1. Sorry, weird gas bubble. You ever get like a burp stuck? I feel like I have 2 stuck. I feel like I have one stuck just over my diaphragm and one right at the base of my throat. It's aggravating as shit. Anyway, the trailer begins with Spider-Man on top of the Punisher's van and webbing up Frank's guns because he doesn't like Frank's way of blind killing. Okay. We see the debut of Michael Mando's Scorpion. He has a suit similar to the one we see in the 2018 Spider-Man game, mixed with his classic comic suit. I don't recall what that looks like in the Spider-Man game. Remind me, we'll go back to that. Maybe I'll Google an image. Spider-Man fights the Hand. Now, that's been long rumored that he was going to fight some ninjas and stuff. We see Tombstone, and he talks about the life cycle of a spider. Interesting. Peter is seen combing, I'm assuming that's supposed to be coming, out of a cocoon and looking absolutely ripped and has organic webbing. Now, that actually was in the trailer. That actually was in the trailer. So far, none of this shit was in the trailer. But that was in that early leak. Peter visits Bruce Banner where they talk about gene mutation. Now, in that leaked trailer, we did see Peter going up to Bruce Banner and asking for his help. They didn't get into any specifics. Talking about gene mutation, that's a specific. But we did see him go up to Bruce in the leaked trailer and be like, bruh, I need some help. Okay, Peter is seen stalking, quote unquote, Ned and MJ. I feel like there was 1 or 2 quick snippets in the leak trailer where he was at least watching MJ from a distance and stuff. So Peter goes to a party where he sees MJ about to kiss her new boyfriend, who is reportedly played by Iman Esfandi. Iman Esfandi, lately of Ezra Bridger in a Ahsoka show fame. That was not in the trailer. And then MJ and Peter are neighbors. And Peter says to her, I'm just your neighbor. To which she responds, just your friendly neighbor. Unaware of Peter's true identity and their past together. So, chat. We have some stuff that was not in the leak trailer, and we have some stuff that was. Which evidently must have made the cut into this one. So what do you guys think of this? Oh, yeah, and I need to look up the 2018 Spider-Man game Scorpion suit. I want to see what that shit looks like, man. I have to be very far away from my keyboard with my mic like this, but it's the only way I can keep it up in my face right now. Okay. Why is this being so weird? Oh well. Anyway. All right, chat. So this is what Scorpion looked like. Okay, that's not even helping. All right. Okay, so this is what Scorpion looked like in the 2018 video game. So according to what Chris put out, it's going to look like this, but also mixed with his classic comic suit. So it's going to be a bit less techy looking. Like this is pretty, tech looking. I imagine from the description, chat. Let me know what you think about this opinion. I feel like it's gonna end up with that description. I feel like it's gonna end up looking a lot like the Scorpion suit in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, or at least that's probably the closest approximation I personally can come up with. What do you guys think about that? Maybe that's what the game suit looks like. And then that was weird. And then some examples of classic Scorpion. Say, it better not have a no stinger tail. That'd be lame as shit. Anyway. So yeah, a cross between that. Well, this might be pretty close because this looks a lot like the tech one, just without all the extra pointy shit. So I would guess something along this line here, probably, is what he's going to look like. If this description is accurate. What do you guys think? And we're going to begin with Spidey messing with Frank. We're going to see Scorpion. We're going to see him fight ninjas. We're going to see Tombstone talk about the life cycle of the spider, getting all metaphorical like bad guys do. We get the cocoon and him being super duper ripped and with organic webbing. Get some Bruce Banner action. We get him being a creeper. A couple different situations. Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about those trailer details? Don't everyone talk at once.
This is not gonna end well.
None of that. Ambivalence. Okay, we'll go with ambivalence. All right, chat. Next up. Do my John Campy impression. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? How was that? Anyway, so Sunday, interesting day. An event happened called Super Bowl. And with the Super Bowl, generally comes commercials and trailers. Now, we got another little look at the Supergirl movie. Now, that didn't come out during the Super Bowl. That came out during the Puppy Bowl, just like some footage of Superman did last year. Which is like one of the cooler things that James Gunn does when he's not doing his actual job that he should be doing. He's pro rescue animal, pro shelter, that kind of thing. So that I can respect, right? Now, the fact that his rescue dog, Ozu, made him decide that he should put crypto in this shit, okay, whatever. I respect the fact that Ozu's a rescue, but dear God, you really didn't need to do that shit, James Gunn. Anyway. Oh, shit. Shut up. All right. So, got another teaser for Supergirl. And I'm pretty sure I can get away with this. It's less than a minute chat. Can any of you guys remember how big a dickheads Warner Brothers is? Did we get away with the last full Supergirl trailer? Anyone remember? I think I can get away with it with Warner Brothers. Maybe not. Well, we're going to try it. If not, then I'll have to get this edited out later. Tomorrow or the next day. Whenever YouTube sends me notification. Hey, you fucked up! So, in the meantime, we're going to check out this Supergirl teaser that dropped on Sunday during the Puppy Bowl. Let's see what they have for us with this next look. Oh. Helps if I unmute it, doesn't it? Here we go. Excuse me.
Who are you?
What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Kurton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
This is not gonna end well.
For you guys.
What's Superman like?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Okay. That's enough of that. You don't really need to watch that shit twice. First of all, chat, had you seen it before now? And did it remind you how you felt about it the first time you saw it? Or if this is the first time you saw it, how do you feel about it? What do you guys think about that next look we got at Supergirl? There you go. How do you guys feel about that look at Supergirl we got? Okay, whatever. What do you guys think? I'll tell you what I think. I think the more somber tone is how they should have started, honestly, but we discussed all that in the first one. So I appreciate the way it mostly began with a somber tone, and of course, little puppy Crypto had to pop in. It's interesting that they timed it out while she was going, like, she found the cute little puppy at a funeral procession. I mean, that makes sense in a way. I mean, I wouldn't find it. You know, if I'm at a funeral, I wouldn't mind finding a cute puppy. Like, honestly, I'll be honest about that. Finding a puppy at a funeral would be kind of cool, if I could keep it. If I found it and then had to give it away again, I would just cry more. I'll be real about that shit. Anyway, So, but yeah, the establishing somber tone, much appreciated. Now they did switch back to the Blondie song, but it wasn't like the full beboppy part of the Blondie song. It was, I don't know if like that more intense, mostly percussive section is actually in the song, or if they did some digital magic to make it that way. But even though they went back to the song, it was different than the last time when it was just in its full beboppy mode. It was in a bit of a more serious kind of bridge area. You know how they do that in songs where they, sometimes drop the instruments and just get all percussive with a vocal and make it all fucking roar and intense and shit. So I thought that was good. Yeah, mostly the same shit we've already seen. Actually, I think honestly, there was like an extra few seconds of the funeral, and then her finding crypto is about the only new footage in that trailer. But I appreciate the tonal shift. That's much closer to how they need, or how I feel they need to market it, given the story they're being given the story they're adapting for this movie, which is a very dark, a very emotional kind of story about a very fucked up young girl with some massive superpowers. And another fucked up, even younger girl. So, yeah, I think they definitely made a good decision changing the tone from Guardians of the Galaxy to something a bit more unique to this movie. You know what I mean? Something that's appropriate to the story. So I like it, actually. I enjoyed it more mostly because it was more tonally proper. No, we'll get back to that. So, any last chance for any thoughts on the Supergirl teaser? Yes, no, maybe so. No. All right. Well, we're going to move on to this next little tidbit here. This has to do with one Frank Castle. The Punisher special presentation is officially titled Punisher One Shot Special, coming to Disney Plus later this year. I really wish they'd just give us a fucking date. Now, I'm 99.9 lots of nines percent sure that it's going to come out before Spider-Man and be kind of a bridge between Daredevil, Born Again Season 1 that he was in, and the Spider-Man movie. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a bridge. It's going to show us where he ended up after escaping that holding facility in Born Again Season 1. And I figured the end of it will put him, if not already where he needs to be for Spider-Man Brand New Day, at least set him on the path. So they'll show us how he got to, what the end of his journey from the escape was, and then they'll show us the beginning of his journey to Brand New Day. In my opinion, that's what I feel like is going to happen. So that's why I think it's going to come out before Brand New Day. Now, as for it being titled One Shot Special, well, we know there are one shots that already exist. In physical media, they were like, in the bonus features or what have you. Disney Plus currently has them in the Marvel section. Now, they're shorter, 3, 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, some of them. Now, this is going to be much longer than that. This is going to be probably 45 minutes to an hour, I would imagine. I'd be stoked if it was, over an hour. Hell, push 90 minutes. Make it a short 80s movie. Now, it'll probably be only 45 minutes to an hour now. And if they're gonna push it to 90, you may as well just make a full goddamn 2+ hour movie. Like, no thought. So, we're probably gonna get 45 minutes to an hour for this now officially called Punisher one-shot special. What y'all think? Besides the fact that I know we all agree on, which is give us a fucking actual release date already, other than later this year. You motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, not a massive thing, but, now we know what it's called other than just the Punisher special. Now it's officially one-shot. Punisher one-shot special. Yeah, not a big deal. I know, but there it is anyway. It's got an official title. Moving right along. Gamers. Specifically, gamers who have themselves a PlayStation. There's good news. Tomorrow is the next state of play. At 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, and 11 over in England and Western Europe. This state of play for 2026 will include 60 plus minutes of news, gameplay updates, and announcements from third-party and PlayStation-owned studios. So we'll get some game announcements. We'll find out which games are getting some DLC, get some news. Any of you guys PlayStation gamers? I know most of you guys are PC gamers, but I'm pretty sure one or two of you does the PlayStation. If you're in the chat or watching on the replay, and you are a PlayStation person, are you excited for tomorrow's state of play? Are you going to watch tomorrow's state of play? If not live, then tomorrow evening sometime when you have an hour to kill, will you be checking out the state of play replay? Now, I own a PS4, but I am not a gamer. I really need to remember to start gesturing with my left hand first, then that's fine. I can't win. I can't fucking win, chat. Anyway. So, I'm not woo, fucking state of play, because I'm not a gamer per se, but, if they drop cool news, I will appreciate it. As a nerd in general, I appreciate cool gaming news, whether I'm, all about buying the game or playing it is, kind of secondary. I still appreciate cool shit. So, I will not be watching, probably live. Well, definitely not live. I probably won't even watch a replay. I'll just wait for, announcements on Twitter to retweet. But, I still think it's cool. I'm hoping some cool news comes out of that PlayStation gamers can enjoy. And we'll find out tomorrow evening or afternoon or night, depending on where you live. Any thoughts, PlayStation gamers in the chat if you're in there? I hit the wrong button. Oh, yeah. Y'all know who James Vanderbeek is? Fucking R.I.P. to that guy. Oh, wait. Oh, it is bookmarked. Okay, I'm just stupid. All right. Never mind. Oh, right there. You are a fucking idiot, chillin'. Holy shit. All right. Well, we should go ahead and move on from State of Play then. And go into something that I'm personally excited about, whether you guys are or not. I know some of you guys at a minimum are Henry Cavill fans. And some of you guys might even be cool enough to be Highlander fans. And as you know, Henry Cavill is making a Highlander movie right now. For which I am excited because I love me some fucking Highlander. And I love me some fucking Cavill. So getting them combined, woo doggies! I am so stoked for this fucking movie. Plus, it's being directed by motherfucking Chad Stahelski, bro. The John Wick director. So you know the action in this movie is going to be badass. So we got, what up, Nate? So since it's filming in London, which I'm guessing y'all remember all kinds of footage from Doomsday sets and shit that was being dropped by this account called Unbox PhD. Well, that's because that shit was happening in London, and Highlander's filming in London, so we got to look. We got to look at Henry Cavill as Connor McLeod, and we got to look at Dave Bautista as the Kurgan. And if you don't know the Highlander, then you won't know what the Kurgan is, but just trust me, Bautista was a good casting. Anywho, let's take a peeky. This is the Cavill version of modern day Connor McLeod. And then this is what Bautista looks like as the Kurgan. Chat. I know not everyone's a Highlander person, but damn. If you're even a Cavill person, this should excite you. Trust me. If you're not a Highlander person, you should be. And if you're not going to go back and watch the original, which is awesome, by the way, especially fucking Clancy Brown as the Kurgan. Ugh, he fucking killed it as the Kurgan. Anyway, if you do not want to go back and watch the original, take my word for it. It's fucking dope. And you are going to want to watch this one. Henry Cavill, Dave Bautista, directed by Chad Stahelski. Let's go. There's some TV show called The Highlander a long while back, which is some dude who traveled forward in time. Maybe. No, that's different. But there was a Highlander TV show starring Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod, cousin of Connor McLeod. But yeah, the original Highlander came out in 80, I don't fucking remember, mid-80s. Starring Christopher Lambert as Connor McLeod and Clancy Brown as the Kurgan. TLDR is there are rare individuals called immortals. And they can only be killed by being beheaded. And the ultimate goal is to gain the prize by being the last immortal left standing. Now, they just kind of went through time, sometimes killing each other as they found each other, sometimes being friends. And the whole point of the movie is there's something called The Gathering. All immortals are called together, and they start finding each other, and since it's The Gathering, now it's time to fucking kill everybody and get the prize. So what happens is immortals will fight, one will behead the other one, and then something happens called the quickening, where all the power from the immortal that was just beheaded gets transferred to the next one. So, yeah, if you're an immortal and the gathering's happening, you want to kill as many motherfuckers as you possibly can to get as powerful as you possibly can to win the final battle and get the prize, which is like omnipotence and a couple other things I don't remember exactly. But yeah. So that's a quick TLDR on, what the Highlander is all about. And the 80s movie is dope. And this movie is going to be really dope. Chad Stahelski, guys. The John Wick director. Going to be directing some fucking epic sword fights and shit. It's going to be awesome, chat. Trust. It's going to be fucking awesome. What do you guys think? Any interest at all? Does anyone give a fuck? Anyone give a fuck? All right. Well, we'll move on to this next little item. So, we've been getting lots of, actually, no, I haven't gotten to that yet, Nate. I've been saving that rant for later. And I do mean it when I say rant. I'm going to crash out on this fucking trailer. It's going to be great. Anyway, next little item. We've been getting a lot of God of War casting news, chat, and now we have our Atreus. A young actor by the name of Callum Vincent is going to be Atreus in the God of War series from Prime Video. Now, I, of course, failed to see if this kid's done any fucking thing that any of us would be familiar with, so let's check that out real quick. Check the little man's filmography. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, so he was in the TV show Chucky. He was in a show called Long Bright River. And then, he was in the most recent season of The Night Agent, starring Tom Hiddleston. And he was a young Jason Voorhees in the upcoming Crystal Lake series. Who's doing that? I can't remember. It's is that Paramount? Or is it Prime that's doing Crystal Lake? I don't remember. Anyway, so he's young Jason Voorhees. He has a main role in the upcoming third season of The Night Agent, starring Tom Hiddleston and some other cool people whose names I can't recall right now. Some show called Long Bright River and the Chucky show. So for a very young kid, that's actually not a bad resume at all. How old is this little shit? You don't say. All right, well, anyway. So that young man is going to be your Atreus for the God of War show. Could be the most popular kid in the world here soon. I mean, he's going to the amount of notoriety he's going to gain is definitely going to be bigger than in any project I just listed, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Yep, he's about to become... His cachet is going to rise. I'll just put it that way. All right. A lot of just tidbits lately, Chad. I'm going to be honest. A lot of tidbits. So here's the next one. My time to shine. Hello. Dropped this little interesting bit. You know how, chat? You know how? What up, C-Dub? And it's still the fucking shield. Anyway. So, we've been talking about a lot of doomsday rumors here, of course. And a lot of rumor and speculation, of course, has revolved around the final battle of Doomsday and where it's going to be. There's been some news and speculation that it's going to be in the TVA and the Citadel at the end of time and Loki's tree. There's been rumors and speculation that it's going to be in the Void. Some people are even saying both. It's going to start in the Void and work its way to the Citadel and then Loki. So that's, those two, whether separate or combined, have been like the biggest, most popular rumory / speculatory things. But my time to shine, hello, came in the other day with this little motherfucker. Which, yeah. So check this shit out. According to my time to shine, hello, Avengers Doomsday, all caps, insane final battle takes the heroes to Latveria. Now, I'm going to say that again. Avengers Doomsday's insane final battle takes the heroes to Latveria. Now, the way she phrased it, it to me does not negate the battle also occurring in the Void and or TVA Citadel End of Time Loki's Tree. It does not preclude either of those scenarios. It just says takes the heroes to Latveria. It can take the heroes to Latveria from the Void, potentially, if they're fighting there. It could take the heroes to Latveria to battle Doom before they make it to the Void and or the TVA. It just says takes the heroes to Latveria. That can take them to Latveria, and then it can take them from Latveria to someplace else. So, basically, what my time is saying here is that at some point during the battle, they gonna end up in Latveria. Now, where they are before that and where they are after that, who the fuck knows? But at some point in that insane final battle, there's some shit gonna go down in Latveria, chat. At least according to my time shine. Hello, what do y'all think about that shit? Question is 838, 828, or X-Men Utopia? Well, I don't think we're actually going to see 838. According to pretty much every fucking scooper out there, the main universes that are going to be involved in Doomsday is going to be 828, Fantastic Four universe, 10005, whatever iteration of the Fox X-Men universe they choose to use, and of course 616. And oh my god, the new rumor about the X-Men. Holy shit. We'll get there though. But yeah, no 838. I mean, they could choose to include it. But the main ones at the end is going to be 828, 10005, and us here in the 616. 616, baby! So what do you guys think? I think some shit happening in Latveria sounds pretty cool. I'll bet you a fair chunk of the Latvian battle is going to take place in Doomstadt. And a battle at Doom Castle? Oh, sign me the fuck up. I am here for that scenario. What do you guys think? The Illuminati setup in the end credit scene of Brave New World is 838. Oh. You're talking about just the end credit scene? That's all I have to go back and watch? So I know what the fuck you're talking about because I don't remember because I was so not thrilled with that movie. I barely brought myself to be able to care even a little bit about the post-credit. Like, real talk. I will have to go back and look at that shit. Because I honestly, I'm not doubting you at all. I'm not calling bullshit or anything. I just literally don't fucking remember. I just don't. So, but yeah, if that is the case, then cool. I'm not against seeing 838 at all. I'm just saying the Scoopers haven't really talked about it. But that just because they don't talk about it doesn't mean that it ain't happening. It just means they've chosen not to talk about it or don't feel like it or what have you. Just watch a YouTube video covering it. I mean, it'll take me like less than 60 seconds to get to it. Well, less than 2 minutes. It'd take me less than 60 seconds to get to the movie, and then I got fast forward and shit. Or skip chapters or, whatever I got to do. But yeah, it won't take me too long to do it through Disney Plus. But yeah, I have to remember to check that out. Remind me again towards the end of stream. Maybe I'll check it out after I get done streaming. Oh yeah, totally 100%. Yeah, the more leaks that come out, the more it seems like they're really actually digging into the Hickman run, and I fucking love that. And that's part of what we're going to talk about with this new X-Men rumor too, when we get to it. All right, we're going back to the land of gaming for this next one, chat. Check this shit out. A28 is a branch timeline? Nope. 828 is its own universe, just like 838 and 10005. Completely different tree from the 616. Just like 838 is a completely different tree, and the 10005 is a completely different tree. That's why they can incurse on each other. Branches don't incurse on each other. At least not according to that big old 2-hour long video from A Bit of Everything that was so accurate that Michael Waldron actually got a hold of him and was like, good fucking job, dude. You should watch that video if you haven't. It is 2 hours long, but it's actually pretty motherfucking cool. Or there's the way that's in the rumor that Loki took him there. Now, I haven't quite figured out how Loki can hop universes yet. I know he can time slip and jump to branches in the 616, but how he got from one tree to the others, I haven't figured that out. That's the only issue I have with that part of the rumor, is how he hopped trees. Because he would have had to leave his tree. Or get the essence of him to leave that tree. And maybe that's how he got away with it. No, because Steve still put... Anyway, I haven't figured that part out yet. But, yeah. All right. Gamers, back to you, motherfuckers. We finally have not a full date, but at least a narrowing down of when we are finally going to get one of the most anticipated games to come out. And that is the official Wolverine game. I believe, isn't that from Insomniac? Or whoever did the Spider-Man games did this motherfucking game. And they've finally narrowed it down to between July and September. So, sometime in that 3-month span, July, August, September, we'll finally get this motherfucking game that everyone has been drooling about since the first gameplay / trailer shit came out, and I don't blame them. I might even give it a go, although I probably will only play it for like a few days and get really annoyed at how bad I am at video games and stop playing it. But, yeah. Somewhere between July and September, chat, it's going to drop. The timeline is, the window's been narrowed down, which, while not as good as an actual release date, better than Marvel's Wolverine coming in 2026. Now it's coming between July and September 2026. So, how many of you guys are excited for that game? Like I said, I may or may not even play it, and if I play it, I'll probably not play it very much. But regardless, I love me some Wolverine, and I'm sure I'll enjoy going stabby on some motherfuckers at least for a while. Definitive History of the Multiverse. I believe that's what it's called. Yes. I can check. I'm sub to his channel. Quick. Uh-huh. Remember how long ago he actually put it out. I think I'm getting close. Yes, The Definitive History of the Multiverse in 12 chapters. That's the one. Really good video. Listened to it while I was outdoor dashing one night. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fucking cool. You're stoked for that game? Yeah, I don't blame you. That game looks cool as fuck. And now we know a little bit better when that motherfucker is going to come out. Bookmark all this shit. I don't think any of it has a motherfucking. Although the article is probably behind it. Oh, is it behind a paywall? Behind a paywall? Are we going to be able to go through this? Oh no, we can actually get into the article. Okay, so chat. We are now going to talk about a large article in Esquire that was awesomely dedicated to the upcoming, I believe it's on Prime. Yep. Spider Noir show starring one Nicolas Cage. Esquire did a big ol' exclusive article on it, so let us go through that. Because people were tweeting all kinds of fun little tidbits, but I figure, since this article by some miracle is not behind a paywall, we'll check it out. Exclusive! How Spider Noir refashioned Marvel lore into a 1930s gumshoe flick. Except it's not a flick, it's a show. The peacock spider is a tiny Australian arachnid whose bristles are mostly shades of gray, but it can also flash a vibrant spectrum of colors to make itself more attractive. The new web-slinging detective series Spider Noir has the same ability. The Nicolas Cage starring TV show, which will air this spring on MGM Plus and stream on Prime Video, will be presented in black and white that mimics the monochromatic look of 1940s crime classics. But it will also be shown in a version that looks more like the colorful panels of the Marvel comics that serve as its inspiration. So, chat, you'll be able to pull up your Prime Video app, go to Spider Noir, and you'll be able to choose whether to watch it in black and white or full color. Now, if I recall correctly, the few brief looks we've gotten at this were in black and white. I'm telling you what, chat, I'm watching that bitch in black and white first. And if it's super dope, then I'll go back and watch it a second time in color. But I'm watching it in black and white. I want that aesthetic. I think it's going to be pretty fucking cool. What are you guys going to watch it in? You going to watch it in black and white first? Well, what are you going to watch it in first? You going to watch it in black and white first? You going to watch it in color first? Chillin's going black and white. What about y'all? This show will outperform expectations. I think it definitely has the potential to do that, yes. I 100% agree. It definitely has the potential. And I feel like it's pretty even likely. Even pretty likely. Jesus Christ. All right. Moving on. Watch every episode in both, but noir first. It's in the name. I mean, exactly. Would you watch Citizen Kane in color? Nah. I'm gonna say no, but I actually haven't watched it. I know I need to. I'm woefully behind in like the classic movies. Yeah, if I'm gonna go back and watch something like a Citizen Kane or a Maltese Falcon or something along those lines, I would not want to watch them in color. I would want to watch them in black and white. So I'm watching this bitch in black and white. What the fuck? Why is make this ad go away? It's over my fucking. I'm not buying log pants, but you're blocking my fucking words, bro. How do I make this go away? You're reading below, but you're blocking it. Damn it. Hold on, chat. We need to check out these pictures that they put in, too. Like, this is the shot that was over the headline, chat. Look at this motherfucker. Check that shit out, though. I mean, yes, it's color, and we're going to watch it in black and white, but still, how fucking dope is this shot? Is that not awesome? Okay, here we go. For this exclusive first look at the show, Esquire is also displaying both formats at once. In this story, we display the full color version and speak to showrunner Oren Uziel and producers Phil Lord and Chris Miller about all the different ways they've taken Spider-Man's Marvel Universe and refurbished it as a 1930s detective tale. The other half of this first look is our interview with Cage, where you can see how Spider-Man Noir looks in luminous grayscale. Ooh. Both formats were created so that the viewers could choose their own preference. The truth is, they both work, and they're beautiful for different reasons, Cage tells us. The color is super saturated and gorgeous. I think teenage viewers will appreciate the color, but I also want them to have the option. If they want to experience the concept in black and white, maybe that would instill some interest in them to look at earlier movies and enjoy that as an art form as well. That would be cool if that actually happened that way. I actually agree with them. That would be cool. So, here we are. Our Spider Noir and civvies having maybe a martini, smoking a cig. I mean, that they went 1930s, 1920s, 1940s detective flick. Then yeah, they're going to be boozing and smoking. That's just the way it is. Either way, Uziel, the co-showrunner of Spider Noir, says he hopes it feels like a relic from another time. Even the color version doesn't look precisely modern. It looks like a black and white film that's been kind of colorized, he says. That was one of the inspirations for how to do it. That's actually cool. But it wasn't the exact same process. Rather than record the series in monochrome and paint by number the images after the fact, as early colorization did, the on-set cameras captured digital footage that was split and processed into the two different formats. To keep it in layman's terms, they then adjusted the dials to create something that had every color of the rainbow, but the feel of something bygone. The result of each changes the vibe of the show, with the color version veering more toward the lighthearted comic strip Crime Capers of Dick Tracy, while the black and white conjures the sinister moral abyss of the novels of Raymond Chandler. The Spider Noir team even came up with a Technicolor-style branding for the way they crafted their colorized version, True Hue. There's even a font for it, Lord says. They made a little logo, Miller adds. The logo will matter That will matter most to fans, however, is Marvel. Spider-Noir is drawn from the Spider-Man alternate universes first established in the 2018 Oscar-winning animated film Into the Spider-Verse. That's when Cage first voiced the character of a 1930s detective with the same web-slinging skills and sixth sense for danger that all the versions of the hero possess. But how different was the rest of the world he called home, and what kind of cases might the hero investigate in his own desperate Depression-era version of New York City? It was the biggest no-brainer of all time, Miller says. We called up our buddy Oren, who we worked with before, who we knew was the biggest noir aficionado we knew, and he came up with a take that was perfect. Uziel, who had worked with Lord Miller as a writer on 22 Jump Street, teamed up with co-showrunner Steve Lightfoot of The Punisher and Shantaram, The Punisher, to shape the story. The web of Spider expertise was broadened behind the scenes by Amy Pascal, who has overseen the Spider-Man franchise for more than 2 decades. First as the Sony Pictures executive when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were the web-slinger, and then as a producer of the Tom Holland version and the animated Spider-Verse films focused on the Miles Morales character. Oh, check this shot out, yo. Damn. That depth of Spider history was important because Spider-Noir was taking some big swings through the corridors of old New York. No pun intended. Never mind why not. Although Cage voiced a variant of Peter Parker in the Spider-Verse movies, his fedora-wearing gumshoe in the Spider-Noir series would have a different real-life alter ego. This hero is Ben Reilly, who was introduced into the Marvel Comics in the mid-'70s as a contemporary clone of young Parker, known as the Scarlet Spider, one of the most hated storylines ever. In the show, Riley's masked crime-fighting persona is also not called Spider-Man. Oh, really? He's just the Spider, a callback to other early heroes of this era like the Spirit and the Shadow. The Shadow knows. There were several reasons for the Ben Reilly change-up. The main one was the nature of noir storytelling itself. The genre is not defined strictly by black and white or the long-ago era, or even a morose tone. The Big Lebowski is a particularly funny film noir, for example. The definition of film noir has been up for grabs ever since the term originated in the mid-1940s to describe movies that delved into the shadowy side of human nature. A broad summary of the genre might be a cynical hero discovers the world is even darker than expected. Damn, if you're already a cynic and you fuck around and find out that the world's even worse than your cynical self thought it was, that would suck ass. Just saying. In other words, Spider-Noir could not be an optimist. Cool. Peter Parker feels very synonymous with a high school kid. Boyish. On his way up, Uziel says, so they chose a clone character whose backstory could be more easily adjusted to fit a pessimistic misanthrope. This character is very different from the Peter Parker from the movies. He's older and jaded and not afraid to punch a guy in the face drunkenly. You know what? I'm not mad at that, since it's not Peter Parker. Miller says, while Lord chimes in, he already had his Chinatown disillusionment moment that happened years and years ago. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I'll go with it. Oh, here we go. A shot of him at the window of his investigator office here. B. Riley, of course. Looking down on the street. Looks like in disgust, honestly. So instead of a kid coming of age while dealing with surprising new powers, Spider-Noir is a guy whose hero complex has collapsed into a midlife crisis. Ben Reilly has already gone through the entire arc and has seen it all. He's over it and trying to move past it, Uziel says, but his past kind of keeps coming back to haunt him. It's just a different version that we haven't seen before. As long as they don't over-dwell in the midlife crisis part, because I'm tired of my heroes being in crisis and turned into whiny little crybaby bitches. His crisis needs to be of the self-medicating, ass-kicking kind. The change in identity is also a mystery the producers say will be addressed in the show itself. Cool. I have to be coy about the reasons, because you'll find out, Lord says. The reason he's named Ben Reilly is explained, Miller adds. We'll leave it at that. Well, that's actually kind of cool that we're going to get an explanation. Cage tells Esquire that he saw his Riley performance as 70% Humphrey Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny, given that there's a comedic side to the mystery story, which, with Spider-Man, does belong. Even though he's Ben Reilly and an old cynical version of Spider-Man, one, you cannot go wrong by injecting humor into your Spider-Man project, because being quippy and using puns and wisecracks is an integral part of the Spider-Man character. So if they're going to inject some of that into this really dark show, not going to bitch about it at all, because it belongs there. As long as they don't overdo it. Now, if they overdo it, that's another story. But if they do it right, totally belongs. Cool. But the producers say he also gave them a different description of what he was trying to do. Nick brought all of this thinking to the character that really surprised us and was kind of a head slapper, Lord explains. His take on it was like, I'm a spider trying to cosplay as a human. He's code switching, period. Inside his body, he feels like an animal. That's why you cast Nicolas Cage, Miller says. He's going to come at a character in a way that no one else would think of. And unlike Simon Williams, motherfuckers want to hear what Nicolas Cage has to say. All right. Every Spider-Man also needs some amazing friends. Spider-Noir is surrounded by several characters drawn from the Marvel Comics pantheon who have been refashioned as hard-boiled archetypes. Among them is Robbie Robertson, a familiar face in the newsroom of the Daily Bugle. This version is still a journalist, but pounding a freelance beat looking for stories from the heart of the city. He's Riley's friend and collaborator, played by Lamorne Harris, best known for the sitcom New Girl. His role is Garrett Morris in Saturday Night, and his Emmy-winning turn as a fatally honest Midwestern cop in Season 5 of Fargo. Here is our Robbie Robertson, chat. Excuse me. They're both investigators, Uziel says of Riley and Ben. They both go back a long way. Their friendship has really deep ties. The biggest and most obvious difference is that Robbie is a guy who almost carries around a rabbit's foot. He thinks he's lucky and it's all going to work out. Ben is a character who thinks it's never going to work out. It's all going to go to shit. Life's a big disaster. So Ben's cynicism is kind of an opposing force to Robbie's optimism. Gotta have yin and yang for balance, bruh. That requires an actor who can suggest optimism without seeming like a chump. Robbie's living in the 30s and the Depression, and he's going through it, but he walks into any room thinking he can talk himself through whatever problem finds him, Uziel says. And Lamorne is so effortlessly charming, he's able to pull it off. Riley's other major support pillar is his trusty secretary, Janet, played by Karen Rodriguez. The Hunting Wives in Acapulco is what she was in. In addition to fielding calls and setting appointments, she's a pretty good investigator on her own, and she's a resourceful girl Friday when Riley needs help keeping everything together. Janet isn't drawn from a particular Marvel character, but she does come straight out of a film noir tradition. She's as original of a creation as one can have when we're at this point in storytelling, Uziel says. In the Maltese Falcon, her name is Effie. There's always this character that can be helpful, that the PI can lean on, that can be hard on him, but loves him. Janet is never going to let Ben off the hook, but she cares so much about him. It's a little three-headed team, Ben, Janet, and Robbie. They're always solving the cases together in their own way. If they get that dynamic right, it's going to work. If they don't, it's going to be cringe as fuck. And here is Janet. Reading Rootin' Tootin' Cowboys, or Wild Rootin' Tootin' Cowboys. A Western comic, it would appear, cost a whole dime. No film noir would be complete without a femme fatale. And that role is filled out by Kat Hardy, played by Lee Jun Lee, a nightclub chanteuse who lures Riley into the underworld conspiracy at the center of the series. Comic fans will immediately draw a connection between her nickname and Felicia Hardy, better known as the Master Thief Black Cat. Lee has become known for channeling women from this era of history. She's probably best known as grocery proprietor Grace Chow in the Oscar juggernaut Sinners. Oh, that was her? Okay. But she was also portrayed but she also portrayed early Hollywood trailblazer Anna May Wong in 2022's Babylon. Wong was among the temptresses who served as inspiration for Cat, but there were others. Really, she's Rita Hayworth, who was so great in Gilda and Lady from Shanghai, and then a little bit of Lauren Bacall because Bogey and Bacall go so well together, Uziel says. There's some Kim Basinger from LA Confidential in terms of how she fits into everything. She's an amalgam of a lot of different things. And here is Cat Hardy. The story of Spider Noir focuses on a gangland boss known as Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson, who has been the subject of repeated assassination attempts. Okay. So that's going to be the case that's going to be worked on. There's a gangland boss known as Silvermane, and Ben Reilly is going to be investigating who's trying to kill him a lot. Interesting. Right. Maybe that's just one of the hazards of his business, or maybe there's a broader scheme at play. Riley starts to believe something's amiss when an arsonist suspected of setting ablaze at Silvermane's mansion reveals he can spark fire from his hands. Ooh. Then Riley runs afoul of hired muscle named Flint Marco, Boardwalk Empire's Jack Huston, who invites him to go pound sad, a.k.a. engage in fisticuffs. Okay, so we have a Sandman. We have a Silvermane gangster leader. We have a Cat Hardy, who's not really Felicia Hardy. And now we have a Sandman Marco guy. And some dude who can spark fire from his hands. I'm liking this, chat. In all the great detective stories, and I love period pieces and detective stories, so I was in on this from jump. You have two cases that sort of come together, and you realize you're actually working the same thing, Uziel teases. He's a guy getting dragged into a much larger fight that he doesn't really want to be a part of. Silvermane is the big bad, but what's happening to Silvermane connects back to Ben's past, and gets him spiraling deeper and deeper into his own origins. That ties back to a constant theme in Spider-Man stories of all kinds. Who am I? Whether it's a kid growing up or world-weary fellow in a fedora, the question remains the same, even if the answer to the mystery changes. Okay, so that was part one. Is there a part two? All right, so we got some characters, chat. We actually got some story. We know what this show's going to be about. He's going to start investigating one thing, and he's going to get dragged into a much bigger thing. And there's people that can start fires with their hands. There's the Sandman. And these fucking images are dope. Even though they're color, I can imagine what they're going to look like in black and white, and they're still going to be fucking dope. And you can watch it in color or black and white. Is there a link to the second part? Am I missing something? The other half of this first look is our interview with Cage. Maybe they haven't put that part out yet. Unless it's this. Oh, I get two free articles. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, so this is the other part, guys. Let's roll. Exclusive. First look, will you watch Nicolas Cage's Spider Noir in color or black and white? Oh, see, here's what. Yeah, you can. Nice. All right. In Spider Noir, Nicolas Cage stars as a not-so-friendly neighborhood Spider-Man chasing down wrongdoers in the nightclubs, skyscrapers, and alleyways of 1933 New York. But there are two paths you can go by to swing along with him. MGM Plus will broadcast, and Prime Video will stream the show this spring. Give me a fucking actual... Why don't these people ever give us dates? They give us seasons. They give us windows. Just say, it will premiere on this month, this day, this time. Jesus. Anyway. With two versions of each episode debuting in tandem with each other. One in black and white and the other in color. With that in mind, Esquire offers two distinct... Yeah. Other first shot. Yep. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I'm totally watching this shit in black and white. 7 new photos can be found in each story, along with yada yada yada. Our best suggestions start with black and white, and the Cage interview. Then, well, we did it opposite, chat, because the other one is what was linked in the tweet. That's why. It's no deeper than that. All right, so hopefully. Actually get to the okay. Fine, that's my last free article. I don't care. Okay. All right, so we're going to see the same images that we saw before, but now this is what black and white looks like. Yeah, I'm totally watching this shit black and white. That's fucking pimp. All right, so this is going to be an interview with Cage and the black and white picture. Being a fly on the wall should come naturally to your average private eye, but being a literal wall crawler, that's something new. This is what distinguishes Nicolas Cage's Spider Noir hero from the other iconic gumshoes who populate our pop culture. But he's also starkly different from any other Spider-Man who has swung across our paths. Cage makes his TV debut in the series, which MGM Plus will broadcast and Prime Video will stream later this spring. He originally voiced the alt-universe anti-hero in 2018's Into the Spider-Verse, but even that version of the gravel-voiced anti-hero is different from the one in the new show. Damn, Into the Spider-Verse came out in 2018. You realize it's going to be 9 years between that and fucking Beyond the Spider-Verse, which we're not getting till next year. 2018 to 2027, 9 motherfucking years to finish this goddamn trilogy. Sheesh. Anyway. Okay. Cage is playing Ben Reilly this time, not Peter Parker. In Marvel Comics lore, Ben was a genetic clone of Parker's. In Spider-Noir, Cage performed Ben more like a clone of Humphrey Bogart. All right. For me, this character was 70% Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny, Cage tells Esquire in the first of his 2 separate Spider-Noir first looks. I was basically Mel Blanc doing Bogart with that sarcastic sense of humor, but it's 100% me. Y'all know who Mel Blanc is? Have a good night, Nate. Thanks for stopping by, guy. Appreciate you. Y'all know who Mel Blanc is? Y'all know about Looney Tunes cartoons? Well, Mel Blanc was the voice actor that did like 99% of the fucking cartoon voices that people my generation and our parents grew up on. I mean, he did Bugs Bunny. He did Porky Pig. He did Daffy Duck. He did all kinds of side characters. He's ridiculous. Master of voices, Mel Blanc. Anyway, below you will see an array of new images from the series accompanied by exclusive chat with the star. Over blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. Black and white's fucking sick, yo. Esquire speaks to show co-showrunner Orion Uzel as well as the Lord Miller. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we read about that in the last article. First up, Cage tells us to have to say. Okay, here we go. Actual interview. Thank you for getting on. Happy to do it. I actually saw the. Okay, so it's 8 episodes. I actually saw the 8 episodes for the first time last week, and I woke up the next day smiling quite a bit. I was very happy with it. Interviewer says, I've seen 2 episodes, but before watching them with my 12-year-old, we put on The Big Sleep as a film noir primer. I'm glad we did, because the way you go undercover in Spider Noir, where Ben flips up the brim of his hat, wears round glasses, and talks in a nasal voice, is precisely how Bogart disguised himself in that movie. That's 100% exactly what was on my mind when we did that. Okay, so when he's undercover, he's going to be kind of a nerd. All right, cool. You voiced Spider Noir in the animated Spider-Verse films, but take us back to the origin of how that led to this live-action show. All right, I'm going to speed read and find shit that we actually care about, chat. Just bear with me. Fusion of genres. Okay. Intrigued by it, really was not clear to me until I felt it. Got there, starting to felt charismatic. Just didn't sound like anybody else was. Oh, some shit just literally looks better in black and white, chat, and this shot is one of them. Holy shit. That's fucking gorgeous. Sounds like put the things you love into it. Okay, I love Bugs Bunny. The Bugs Bunny thing is killing me. I wonder if he means like the voice. Because he was talking about like having a nasally voice. And Bugs Bunny kind of has a nasally voice. Exactly as interesting for me to do. Television comic books are naturally by their nature episodic. But very impatiently. Next copy, whatever character I was reading. Okay, so he's talking about how he's a comic book nerd. So much the first one, or a bit of it, and I'd wait for the next one to come out. Television lends itself to that, perhaps even more than a movie. Land a book, what it felt like to have it in your hand. The touch, the smell of the paper, the graphics, all that. That's cool. Also caused by the radio series from way back. Yeah, the Spider series. Okay, yeah, so that's still just an homage to that. Okay, and this is interesting. Do you have a preference for the color or black and white versions? Since it's presented in both. He says, I understand why they presented it in both, and I suggested it in the beginning. Oh, well, aren't you just a genius there, Nicolas Cage? Actually, he kind of is. I remember when Amazon was first thinking about doing it, they were nervous about black and white. And I said, you don't have to only do it in black and white. You could do it in color as well, because this is for all ages. For people that haven't had a lot of experience with black and white, they can enjoy the color, and the color is beautiful. But the black and white is what I was drawn to, and I'm totally with them. Why? It matches my concept of how to portray a film noir. But the truth is, they both work, and they're both beautiful for different reasons. Okay. All right, that quote was in the other article. Social story drama, think film noir being about murky morals, black and white. Okay, yep. Comic book vibe, beautiful layer. Blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Cat Hardy. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but yeah, she could get me in some trouble. Hell yeah. Yada. All right, so nothing really new in that. Mostly just Cage's opinions on that and what this shit gonna look like in black and white. And oh my god, the black and white looks pimp, chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the show? Are you excited for the show? Which way you gonna watch it? I mean, how you feeling about Spider Noir? And it's coming out sometime this spring. What y'all think of that shizzle? I'm gonna grab me a pop. I'll be right back. Say something! Okay. Have any Sonic fans in the house? If not you, then your kids. Are you forced to watch Sonic by your offspring? Oh, Drunk History's fucking hilarious. I watched that for a hot minute. That shit was funny. But yeah, Sonic fans in the house. Parents of Sonic fans in the house. Anybody? Well, chat. Things are about to get a whole lot busier and bigger for Sonic. Check this shizzle out. Sega and Paramount are planning a controlled expansion of the Sonic universe, treated now as a big franchise. Films and series are being developed to complement the games and vice versa. The next Sonic game will align with that idea. What up, Executive Judge? So, chat, Sega and Paramount are going to start collaborating on what appears to be a shared timeline between games, shows, and movies. Like, it's all going to tie in together and be a whole shared universe story kind of thing. They're calling it a controlled expansion. Yeah. Films, shows, games will all complement each other and lead into each other. The next Sonic game will be the first step in that direction. Any thoughts on that? Just a quick little tidbit, but I kind of find it interesting that they're going whole hog into Sonic like that. I mean, the movies have been bangers. They've been very successful, or at least the ones that happen after they changed the super fucked up way they first designed them. Oh my God, that shit was ugly. Like, I've watched Sonic, thanks to my grandson. It's an entertaining movie. Or they're entertaining movies. I mean, shit, they got big enough to have Keanu Reeves as a voice, so in a way it makes sense. And it's interesting, most articles would just say they're planning an expansion. This one specifically says a controlled expansion, which hopefully means they will actually be smart about it, take their time, develop shit properly, and not jump the shark. Hopefully that's what that means. Jumping the shark will fuck your shit up. All right, chat. Any fans of the Helldivers game up in here? You guys like Helldivers? I know it was a thing for a minute. Haven't heard about it in a while. Is it still a thing? People still playing that motherfucker? Is it still popular? People still love it? Any of you guys know? Is Helldivers still lit? Yes, C-Dub. Thank you for telling us what I was just about to tell you. They are making a Helldivers movie. Yes. Fuck you, C-Dub. Yep. It will be starring one Jason Momoa. And directed by one Justin Lin. And we actually, look, chat. Oh, whoops. Look, chat. A release date. November 10th, 2027. Just over 1 month before Secret Wars. Now, I haven't played the game. Shocker, I know. Yeah, I haven't played the game, but obviously I know a few gamers. Excuse me 1 second. I have to deal with cats. Fucking cats. Any hoodles. So yeah. Heard a lot of good things about the game. I know that shit was popping off for a while. A few months back. I don't know if it still is, but I'm sure it still has plenty of fans. So we will see. First of all, how they end up doing the movie. Like, I'm sure. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be big enough for like a whole ton of leaks to come out, but maybe there'll be some leaks. Maybe we'll be able to get an idea of like what the story is that they're going to put in there or whatever. It'll be interesting, but yeah. Momoa. The current king of, if I need a big name in a fun action film, you call Jason Momoa. So the people that are making Helldivers called Momoa, and Momoa said, yep. So there we have it. Helldivers movie premieres November 10th, 2027, starring one Jason Momoa. All right, chat. We have two things left to talk about. We have some dope Doomsday shit. And we have Mandalorian Grogu. We will do Mandalorian and Grogu next. And then we will end on the high note of dope-ass Doomsday rumors. Back. I know it's a weeknight, but I need a quick little shot before we talk about this Mando Grogu shit. Time. Ah, bourbon, baby. Okay, so as we talked about earlier, chat. This past Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. And one of the things Super Bowl Sunday is famous for, besides, of course, the game and the halftime show, and all the ridiculously bad for you food that we consume, are the commercials in the trailers that are released during the Super Bowl. Or at Super Bowl adjacent things. Like earlier we talked about the new Supergirl teaser that was released during the Puppy Bowl during the afternoon, as opposed to during the actual Super Bowl itself during the evening, which was probably smart because Super Bowl spots are $10 million for a 30-second spot. Keep that in mind. So Also, as we talked about earlier, for the longest we thought we were getting, and we're very much hoping for, a big old Doomsday trailer where we finally get our first official look at a live action Doctor Doom doing Doctor Doom things. And then it was announced that we weren't, but that we were going to get a Mando Grogu trailer. Okay. Now, I was expecting a teaser, and this is what Marvel should have did. The commercials were buns this year. Yeah, there weren't a lot of good ones. There's a few that I enjoyed. The tight end commercial about getting your colonoscopy, that shit was funny as fuck. I liked the Goodwill Duncan commercial. There was another one that I thought was pretty good. I don't remember what it was, though. If someone brings it up, I'll probably recognize what it was, but I can't think of it offhand. Anyway. So, no Doomsday cool 30-second spot, which ends with by sending us to the internet to watch a full trailer. No. We didn't get that. It was known that we were going to get a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Okay, cool. That's cool. Maybe we'll get a cool 30-second spot that sends us to the fucking YouTube to watch the full trailer. I'm down for this. So Super Bowl rolls around, and I'm not even going to pull it up because I don't want to watch it. And we get this, chat. I should have tried to download that one. It's a lot clearer. Anyway, we get this. We get Mando and Grogu in an air wagon being pulled on what looks like they're traveling around Hoth, being pulled by 4 Tauntauns. And in the teaser itself, we have Mando driving, and then he hands the reins over to Grogu. And the the ad is being narrated by Sam Elliott, which is probably the best part of that fucking ad because Sam Elliott talking is amazing. Oh yeah, there's definitely some people I was following on Twitter that were not letting that go. Especially when fucking RDJ posted that picture of him and his wife in their Super Bowl Doomsday shirts, and people are like, they couldn't use that logo without the NFL's permission. Something's gonna fucking happen. Yeah, nope, that didn't. Nope. Was not the case. Anyway, so we got Mando and Grogu being pulled along in an air carriage by 4 Tauntauns on Hoth, and a narration by Sam Elliott. That's what we fucking got. Not a trailer with some cool, enticing action, or a teaser with some cool, enticing action, and at the end they were like, now, go to your preferred platform and see the full, new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Nope. Nothing like that. We got that. And that was it. And that was all. We got an ad that basically was for 2 groups of people. First and foremost, this was an ad that basically said, hey, look, cute little baby Yoda Grogu critter's still a thing. Don't you want to come see him on the big screen? He still exists. You know you want to see more of him. Come watch the Mandalorian and Grogu movie on May whatever the fuck it comes out. That was one. And then number 2. This was also designed to attempt to appeal to an older generation, like Gen X and the boomers, because this was an homage. And again, if you're young, you won't have any fucking clue. But those 2 riding along in a air wagon being pulled by 4 Tauntauns was a throwback to an old 90s Super Bowl commercial for Anheuser-Busch with the Clydesdales. I think also narrated by Sam Elliott. I'm not 100% sure. So, in order to entice people to go watch The Mandalorian and Grogu, they spent $10 million on an ad spot that was basically advertising or an advertisement, not for a movie, but for their little marketing gold mine known as Grogu, and attempting to nostalgia bait people of my generation and older by paying an homage to an old-ass beer commercial. This is what they chose to do with $10 million to try and generate hype for their movie. This. What the actual fuck were they thinking? Like, this is supposed to get people hyped for your movie that comes out in 3 months. A little over, actually. I think it's late May. A throwback to a beer commercial and your little merchandise guy. That's it. That's what you gave us. That's what you spent $10 million fucking dollars on to try and entice people to go see your movie. A fucking Clydesdale commercial and your little marketing doll. Your little merch hound. What the fuck? That is not even remotely inspirational. And I'm not alone in this. I've seen a lot of reactions on the YouTubes and on the TwitX. And there are people out there that are normally, in my opinion, way too positive on Star Wars, to the point of being apologists for Star Wars. And even they were like, what the actual fuck was that shit? Like, even they were questioning that hard. Like the eternal optimist. Or chill. Ryan Airy. The guy who likes practically everything and will defend shit that really should not be legitimately defendable. Even he was bagging on this fucking spot. Like, seriously, I saw him tweet about it and I was like, damn. Ryan Airy don't like this shit? You know it's fucked if Ryan Airy don't like it. Like, real talk. If you want to know if something's fucked, if Ryan Airy bitches about it, it's probably fucked. Now, $10 million. You know, this chat, I wish I knew whose feet to actually lay the blame at. I don't know if this was, like, going to happen for a while, like, set in stone for a while. Like, they were going to get the Super Bowl out spot, and this is what they were going to be in it. Like, was this already in place before Kathy left and immutable because they spent $10 million on this spot? Like, you're not fucking with it? Was that the case? And if that was the case, then, okay, fine. Not Filoni and Brennan's fault. Is it Filoni and Brennan's fault? When was this decision actually made? I need to know who to blame. I need to know the top person to blame, I should say. I want to know who the fuck shit on for this idiocy. Like, this is so fucking out of touch. This is the kind of thing that you put out when your franchise is in really, really good shape. You can get away with a little, like, you know, pretty obvious, you know, merch bait and nostalgia bait combination. Like, you can get away with that shit if you're on top. If you're in good form. If people are loving your shit. You can do that. That's not the case. This franchise is on the brink of being completely and utterly cooked for all time. Not just unable to regain its heights, but like barely able to get out of its own way level of cooked. What's up, Travis? Like, and they're putting this shit out like everything's just fine. Like you have to be like have your head buried so far somewhere in something to not know that your franchise is like on the fucking brink. You have to be so completely out of touch and so self-wrapped up in your own fucking, as it stands, bullshit narrative that everything is just hunky-dory. Super fucking out of touch. Like, that's the only explanation, is they either don't know or refuse to admit Star Wars' current status, which is not good. Like, your sequel trilogy ended up being highly controversial. And then you put out some cool shit, like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian and Grogu on Disney Plus were cool. There's some other stuff that was cool, but for the most part, you didn't give us any fucking movies, and you gave us, the best I could call it, is hit or miss Disney Plus content. If I'm going to stick with that level of politeness, I'm going to say there was many more misses than hits. That's for fucking sure. So you don't give us a movie in what's going to be, by the time this comes out, like 6.5 fucking years. Between 6.5 and 7 years. And it's a movie based on a TV show. Said TV show having 2 really good seasons, but the most recent season being ass. Excuse me. Right? So you're coming off that. And then you're making that show into a movie. And then that's the first movie that you've put out since 2019. And instead of being a big old motherfucking, hey, Star Wars is back in the theaters movie, we get a TV show movie. The most recent season of which was not good. And then all you've done to market it so far is a trailer reveal at fucking, what's that goddamn thing called? The big old Star Wars event that was just in Tokyo last year. That's where they put out a first look. And then they finally publicly released what is basically the same trailer. I know, because I saw the one leak from Star Wars Celebration. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so they dropped a trailer at Celebration, which I saw a leak version of. Then they dropped the official version, which was virtually identical to the one they showed at Celebration. And then this. That's all we've fucking gotten, chat. You realize that? That is all we've gotten marketing-wise. Is a trailer and this fucking 30-second spot. Like, do they really think that they are in such a good place that one trailer and this 30-second spot that didn't show a shit, but was supposed to be some kind of clever homage, is going to be enough to get people in the theater for this fucking movie? Like, are you kidding me right now, dude? There's like, no, this does not generate hype. I've heard multiple anecdotes about how this literally had the opposite effect. There were people that were considering going to check it out, saw that, and were like, fuck it. Because just like when it comes to Marvel and DC, there's a small group of us that are in the know. And then there's the casuals and the general audience. So a lot of whom probably didn't even see that first trailer. And then they're like, oh, Mandalorian Grogu movie? Okay, I liked The Mandalorian for the most part. And then they saw that and they're like, yeah, that looks lame as fuck. I'm not going to watch this movie in the theater. I'll wait for streaming and maybe not even watch it then because this looks stupid as shit. There are people literally who saw this and are like, yeah, fuck this movie. I'm not going. So not only is this spot not generating hype, it's actually generating anti-hype. And people are like, fuck this. I'm not going to go to the theater for this shit. This looks stupid. Like, I'm honestly surprised my brain isn't draining out of my ear holes from melting from the level of ignorance or ambivalence or a willful ignorance to not know that this is not the move because your franchise is not in the kind of shape where you could get away with this. Quite the opposite. You need to be generating as much hype as you possibly can. You need to be enticing people with badass trailers, with kick-ass action, and a modicum of what this movie's actually fucking about. Right? That's what you need to be doing. Because your shit is not in good shape. People do not give a fuck. You have to make them give a fuck. You have to give them a reason to be like, oh shit, maybe I should go see this in the theater. And guess what's not going to do that? This shit is not going to do that. This movie is in deep, deep trouble right now. And then on top of the stupidity of this, a motherfucker who should be fired already, Lucasfilm marketing brand manager, tried to gaslight us for some shit. Let's see if there's a longer quote in here. Okay. So, what's this motherfucker's name? Yeah. So the Lucasfilm marketing brand lead. Okay? So, big muckety muck marketing. What's up, Brennan? He's talking to the Hollywood Reporter, gaslighting the fuck out of everybody because this is what he talked about with this thing. Our creative and marketing team landed on a unique concept that gave a nod to classic big game spots of years past. Anheuser-Busch, Clydesdale's, Clop, Clop, Clop. It captured the warmth, humor, and emotional connection between these two beloved characters. We sell the fuck out of Grogu merch. And was the perfect next step for our campaign as we lead up to their big screen debut this summer. What kind of, seriously goobly glob, fucking disingenuous kind of fucking corporate speak is that? A unique concept that gave a nod to classic big game spots of years past. Oh, and it captured the warmth, humor, and emotional connection between these two beloved characters. It was the perfect next step for our campaign. Motherfucker, no. No. What it actually is you thought you were being clever and were acting from a place of complete ignorance, out of being out of touch. And you were like, let's just do this. This will be fun. This will be worth $10 million. People will want to see our movie because of this. No, they fucking won't. I'm only going because I'm that big of a sucker, not because of this fucking thing. Matter of fact, this thing almost put me in the fucking opposite reaction camp. I was with that spot. I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, that literally pissed me off to the point where I'm like, why am I going to waste money on this motherfucker when they're not even trying? They are literally not even fucking trying. And on top of that, you're going to come out with this bullshit gaslighting? Fuck you, Ryan Stankovich. Filoni and Brennan need to not only fire your ass, they need to clean house of that marketing department. Like, everybody need to go, and they need to all be replaced by people with a fucking clue of what the reality of the situation is and market aggressively and accordingly. That's what they fucking need to do. Like, Dave and Linwin, you need a full fucking reset of your marketing department. Because if they think this shit is clever and a good idea and will generate much needed hype, then they are morons and they need to not work for you. You need to fire them fucking now. Right now. Get a new team in there as quickly as you can and get their asses to work, because we are still 3.5 months out from this movie. You can, if not completely turn it around, you can at least start to generate some hype with like proper marketing, like an actual trailer with a good combination of what's actually a little bit of the stakes of the movie and the more cool action. Like, that's what you need to generate hype. You need to pay people say, damn, that looks cool as fuck. And also, that story's kind of interesting. They might not say it exactly like that, but that's the goal. You want them intrigued by the story, and you want them wowed by the action. That's how you get people in the theater. You get them thinking, and you get them wowing. Now just be safe out there, Brooke. That's what's important, man. You be safe and worry about chilling late. Worry about hanging in the basement later when you are home and safe and changed into your comfies and whatever else you do. But yeah, this is just for goddamn ridiculous. First, you're going to put out one of the most out of touch fucking pieces of advertising you possibly could, and then you're going to try and gaslight us into thinking it was clever. No. Your ass should be unemployed, Stankovich guy. You should be unemployed. And no one else should hire you. If you think that was a good fucking idea, you are in the wrong business. Stankovich. You're in the wrong motherfucking business. Go work in a copy room or some shit, because you do not belong in marketing. Holy shit. And here's some other little interesting tidbit about Mando and Grogu. Now, we have seen reports, and this is about the movie itself. We have seen reports that we've already seen reports, I should say, that this is going to be the lowest budget Star Wars movie ever, right? We've already heard rumblings of that. Well, now we have a number. Definitely lowest budget. They only spent $166.5 million on this, chat. Just $166. So that should have left them a decent budgeting marketing budget. There we go. That's the words. That should have left them a pretty decent marketing budget. And even if it wasn't like awesome, it should have been good enough to do a much better job than what they're doing. And especially spending $10 million of the marketing budget on that fucking bullshit of a spot. So, here's the thing. With a $166 million budget, you're going to need, let's call it $420 million. It's between $415 and $420, but we're going to go with $420. $166 million budget. $420 million is your break-even point. Below 420, loss. Above 420, profit. Okay. Now, Lucasfilm has 3.5 months to figure out how to massively up their game. Or barely anybody's going to go watch this fucking movie. You know who's going to show up to this movie if they don't up their fucking game like yesterday? Ultra Star Wars diehards and I love everything under Star Wars sticker shills. They're still going to go. I'm one of those diehard suckers that's going to go. Like, I'm already going to go. I've admitted it. Just because I'm going to the movie doesn't mean I can't shit on their marketing strategy, though. I'm going despite their shit-tastic marketing strategy is what that boils down to. But yeah, that's unless they can generate hype, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get cranky motherfuckers like me and super shills like, I don't know, who are the super shills anymore? Star Wars Explained, I guess. Although I heard even he was bagging on that fucking spot. I'm not 100 on that, though. Don't quote me. So, only needing 420 to break even is actually that's pretty good, right? That's not super high. You know, what was it? Brand New Day, I think, made 440. I think it barely cleared that, or maybe it barely only cleared 400. I don't remember. But yeah, so 420 million should be easily achievable for a Star Wars, right? I mean, hell, if things were in good shape, we're looking at probably a $700 to $900 million movie right here. If Star Wars was overall in good shape, if Mando Season 3 hadn't sucked, yada, yada, yada. You know, $700 to $900 million movie. I don't think this is a $1 billion movie, even if Star Wars was at its peak. So only needing 420 million to break even, probably a good thing. Now, some people have posited that this movie could bomb like to the point of like, say, the Marvels. You know, $200 million, $300 million, which is more than the Marvels made, but you know, somewhere in the $200 to $300 million range. They think there's a possibility that this movie could bomb that fucking hard. Well, no. They are thinking from a domestic perspective, right? Star Wars overall around the globe is in better shape than it is here in the US of A. This is probably the area of the world, group of people that hold it in the lowest esteem. Globally, Star Wars is still pretty popular. Nowhere near what it was. I mean, it's taken a hit globally, but I think it's like its lowest point is here in the U.S. So, will this movie only make 200 or 300 million? No, it will make more because the international market is going to be good for at least 300 million on its own. And I'm pretty sure this movie could pull 100 to 120 domestic. So I think this movie is probably in the 400 to 500, maybe 550 range. Honestly, I think it's going to struggle bust to hit 500. I think it's going to struggle bust to 500. It might clear it, which will be good because it only needs 420. So now there are two ways. If this movie, you know, cracks 500, it will have made a profit. Disney can be like, "Hey, look, we made money on this. It was a success." And from a mathematical business standpoint, they will be right. It made a profit. It's a success. Like at the box office. It didn't require ancillaries to make a profit like other movies that have been talked about recently in Senate hearings and shit. Superman. Like this will actually make a profit in the box office if it makes 500 million. Not much, but it will make a profit. So it will be a success from a business standpoint. However, there's another side of this chat, and that is success in terms of helping the franchise begin its journey on the road to a comeback. Will The Mandalorian and Grogu, only making about $500 million, accomplish that? Fuck no. It will be a technical financial success, but if it only makes $500 million, that is a massive underperformance for a Star Wars movie. Massive. But if it makes 500 or less, Lucasfilm won't be able to hide from the situation any longer. Like, they've been sitting in their office, hiding behind their Disney Plus numbers, fudging them the best they can, making them look as good as they can, and then sticking to whatever number they finally came up with, like glue, as an indicator that, no, things are just fine. Well, guess what? You can't hide the box office, baby. It is what it is, and everyone's going to fucking see it. So if this movie makes 500 million or less, while it will technically, well, if it makes more than 420, but between 420 and 5, will it technically be a success because it made a profit in the box office? Yes. Will it be a success for the brand overall? Hell no. And Disney will finally, or Lucasfilm will finally have to own up to it. They won't be able to gaslight anyone anymore if this movie doesn't make much money. It'll be in their face. Everyone will be able to see it. Them, the audience. Everyone will be able to see it. And they will have to own the L. And they will have to signal change. Because if they get that L, and then fucking double and triple down after that, then this franchise is done. Fucked, cooked, toast, done. It'll be as done as it possibly could be. Star Wars will never die. It'll always be popular enough to have a following globally. But in terms of what it once was to what it'll be now, it cooked. Might get a pop here and there, but overall, cooked. Fucked. Done. Now, if perchance this movie gets 600, 700, 800 million, that would be an overall success from both a business standpoint and a franchise standpoint, especially if it's 7 or higher. Right? Like they should be ecstatic if it clears 6, but if it makes 7 or more, that'll mean two things. That will make it an overall success. They will have done a good job. But it will also, unfortunately, not prove to them that overall they are still on the wrong track. So in order to elicit true change, this movie kind of actually has to fail. Like, a public L is the only way that'll really kick them in the ass and get them to do shit that they need to fucking do. Which sucks. Because I really, I want to say I'm not rooting for it to fail, but I kind of am a little. Just because that company needs a super public kick in the ass. They need a result that they can't finagle or hide in some fashion that they can't gaslight their way out of. Like, they need this kick in the ass. So I guess the best case scenario is a fun movie that I enjoy watching that also bombs like a motherfucker. That's kind of the win-win in my opinion. Movie's cool, movie's fun. Walk out of the theater going, "Hey, that was cool." And then it also makes like 400 million. Now, I believe a number that low is feasible, even despite international. I think international would be good for about 300 or so million. But this thing could completely flop domestically and barely add anything to the international. So it actually is going to come down to the domestic audience, in my opinion, because international is going to be there. Not in like a massive, massive amount, but enough to get it close enough to profitability that all it would take is a decent domestic turnout to make a profit at the box office. Yeah, this movie is in some trouble right now, chat. The marketing has been completely ass. They need to fire all those motherfuckers. And they need to get about dropping some fucking badass trailers, yo. Because right now, people are not excited for this movie. Hell, even the people that are guaranteed to go, probably some of them are like, I'm not excited for it, but I'm going to go. I would say probably most of the people in that camp are in the Die Hard group rather than the love everything with a Star Wars sticker on it. Fucking toxic positive shills. So yeah, they're fucking up bad. They are on their way to completely tanking this fucking movie. Which again, first movie in 7 years, between 6.5 and 7 years, and it's based off a TV show. Sweet Jesus. What do you think, chat? What do you think about the teaser? What do you think about what it implies? How do you think the movie's going to actually do? Do you guys have any fucking hype for this movie at all? Are you actually going to go? Like, have they have they done their job in getting you to want to go? Are you going despite the job they've done? Has this piss poor job convinced you to say, fuck it, I'll wait for streaming? Where are you guys at, chat and replay people? Comments. And like buttons and subscribe buttons and bell buttons. How you feeling about this, chat? Spot was meh. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's kind of putting it politely. But that's just me. Starts grooving to the tunage. All right. Well, enough bitching. Let's talk about some cool shit. All right. One quick little non-Marvel tidbit that I find fucking cool, so deal with it. It is officially confirmed, chat. If you are fans of The Mummy, you'll be happy to know that after months of negotiations, Universal closes deals for Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz to return to star in the new Mummy movie. And it's set for May 19th, 2028 release date. There's an open Marvel date in May of 2028. I can't remember what part of May 2028. That could get interesting if they decide to put a Marvel movie there. But yeah, you guys like The Mummy? I love The Mummy. The first two. The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. With these two. I fucking love them. I personally am stoked about this. They still need to get fucking Oded Fair and John Hannah back, though. We need the brother and we need, shit, what's his character name? I forget his character name. But yeah, we need the homie back. Yeah, I'm fucking stoked about this, chat. I know, just a quick little thing. A lot of people probably don't feel like I feel about this movie, but I'm excited. Fraser and Weiss back again. Check it, direct it, let's begin. All right, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. No big deal. Anyway, okay, so Doomsday Rumors, chat, you ready? These are actually pretty cool. These are actually pretty fucking cool, chat. And these come, both of them, what we're about to talk about. Everything we're about to talk about comes from My Time to Shine. Hello. And one little bit she dropped is the Magneto versus Doctor Doom battle in Avengers Doomsday has been described to me as this movie's Doctor Strange versus Thanos. It's the biggest, most badass fight in the film. I'm assuming she means biggest, most badass 1v1 fight. Like, there's no way that fight's going to be bigger than the final fight. But still. Now, we've heard rumblings about Magneto Doom battle before, and we've assumed it would be dope. But now, one of her sources is saying it's that fucking dope. I mean, Ian McKellen in those, in the one interview alluded as to how he destroyed New Jersey, and then he confirmed it on the fucking Colbert show. He even got up and gave a demonstration, was talking about filming the scene. So we know that's going to happen. Not sure if it's going to happen specifically in his fight with Doom, but we know that's going to happen. So I expect at least a similar level of badassery in that fight. You know what I mean? So Doctor Strange versus Thanos. Kind of makes me want to go back and watch that fucking scene from Infinity War, eh? I remember some of it. It was pretty damn cool. So I kind of see what they're talking about. But anyway, that's pretty cool, man. Doom and Magneto. Epic fucking fight. I am here for that shit, yo. It's going to be very interesting to see how much of Doom's magic they decide to include in that fight. Because if he casts the right spell, it could be over quickly. But obviously they're not going to do that. But I wonder if they're going to have him utilize magic in the fight at all. They should. They should. But not towards the end. I mean, let's face it. Doom probably knows his magic could win him the fight quickly, but Doom's also like a super high level of a narcissist, and he'll be like, I can beat him. I don't need my magic to beat this motherfucker. And you know what? He may not. Need Wanda versus Jean in my veins, though. I mean, I'm totally with you on that. Fucking shoot me up with that shit. But yeah, Magneto, Doctor Doom, massive, fucking super dope, badass battle along the same lines of epicness as Strange versus Thanos. What do y'all think? Does that not sound sick? Does that not sound awesome? Is that not exciting? Are you not entertained? How I feel about that, chat? feel about the epicness of the upcoming Doom Magneto battle. I'm hyped. I can't wait to see that fucking fight. It's going to be amazing. All right. You guys ready for the biggin? Also from My Time to Shine, hello. We are getting some background on what it's like in on Earth 10005, also known as the X-Men Utopia universe. We get some details on what they're going to be up to. Check this shit out. The X-Men in Avengers Doomsday have survived countless incursions, each one nearly wiping out their universe. They're exhausted, broken, and have sacrificed everything. Every incursion forces them to send their members to another Earth to battle its defenders and erase that universe from existence before it destroys theirs. And she accompanies this post with 2 frames from the Hickman run of Secret of Time Runs Out. Avengers, New Avengers, Time Runs Out, and Secret Wars. That's where these images come from. This one, is that Miles? Yep, that's Miles. So this is from the perspective of probably, I believe, 616 Earth incursing on the Ultimate Universe, which were the final 2 universes in that run, by the way. If you didn't know. 616 and the Ultimate Universe were the final 2. And this is what it looks like when an incursion happens. Actually, there's red ones and blue ones. This is a red one. As you can see, here comes an Earth. They're conveniently ignoring what the gravity waves would be doing. Fuck physics. Who cares? It's comic books, right? I mean, kind of, yeah, actually. Even though it pisses off Neil deGrasse Tyson. Anyway. So, and then this is another panel from that same run, showing what happens when Earths run into each other. And in the Hickman run, we get incursions like this and like what she described, rather than what happened in No Way Home or the Marvels. Those were incursions, but those were not Hickman incursions. It looks like what we're getting in Doomsday are Hickman incursions. Where it's you destroy the other Earth or everyone fucking dies. Or they destroy you for their survival, you destroy them for your survival. And if no one destroys anyone else, they collide, and both universes get wiped the fuck out. Now, in the Hickman run, though, which to me, I'm still trying to rationalize how that would work with the formation, with the complete death of the multiverse and the formation of Battleworld. Anyway, well, actually, never mind. Well, no, because anyway. So, in the Hickman run, the incursion point is always Earth. But in the Hickman run, if one Earth destroyed the other universe would live. They would just pass through. Earth is the only possible impact point. So if you remove one of the Earths, you remove the impact point, and the one universe with no more Earth just floats on through the universe that still has one. Now in here, Shine is saying every incursion forces them to send their members to another Earth to battle its defenders and erase that universe from existence before it destroys theirs. So evidently in Doomsday, they're taking Hickman's incursions to the next level and saying, it doesn't matter. If you destroy the Earth, it all must go. Like the whole universe. It won't just calmly pass through. So I'm assuming the universe will, unlike the comic run, where if the Earth goes, the universe remains. If the Earth goes, the universe goes. It looks like in Doomsday. Now, here's the cool. They've survived countless incursions. That's crazy. Now, at the end of the Marvels, when Monica woke up on Earth 10005, Beast was aware that there were other universes. He's like, she must come from another universe, but that's impossible. So they're aware of other universes. And there is going to be a time gap between the end of the Marvels and Doomsday. A time gap sufficient for Beast to take his research now that he's aware that universes can be traversed and start really getting into what's happening out there in the multiverse and finding out that incursions are beginning and how they work and what will be necessary for their universe to survive an incursion. There's going to be plenty of time in that time jump for Monica's arrival to spark that line of research. Okay? Plenty of time. So, Beast will complete his research. They'll realize what's going on. And when another Earth shows up, they fucking destroy it. And they've had to do that a ton. A ton. The X-Men are responsible for, in order to save their Earth and their universe and the trillions of lives in that universe, they've been forced to wipe out trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions and so on and so on. You get it. Of lives. Over and over again. One universe at a time. To save their own. I'm sure the people of their universe would still consider them heroes. But are you really heroes if you're wiping out trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of lives to preserve your few trillions? I don't know. That's a fairly deep moral question. It's like Machiavellianism versus like high moralism. You know? It's a hell of a quandary, man. I'm glad I don't have to make that fucking decision. Like, destroying the other universe is the practical decision. Like, yeah, you're going to do everything you can to save yours. You know, that's where all the good shit all the people you love, all the stuff you care about is at. Of course you're going to want to preserve that. Now, having to do that at the expense of a whole nother universe, that's some heavy, heavy, heavy shit. That's where the big philosophical moral debate kicks in. Are you justified in destroying a whole nother universe to save your own? Are you justified in killing trillions to preserve trillions? And then as more incursions happen, is it still justifiable to destroy universe after universe after universe after universe with all the trillions of people in each universe just to save your one universe? Well, no, Kang's been trapped since Quantumania, Travis. He's in limbo. So think about it, chat. The X-Men are kind of not really heroes. They're basically anti-heroes. They're kind of in Palpatine mode. Do what must be done. Wipe them out. Wipe them out. All of them. You know, that's what they're doing. They're wiping out universes, doing what they feel must be done to preserve their own. And all the moral implications that go along with it. No, it's not. It's not impossible. I mean, it's a big fucking multiverse. Like, multiverse. Universes on their own are hard enough to run into somebody in. Now we're talking multiverses. It's entirely possible they never ran across Kang. They may have run across word of him here and there. That I would say the odds are much higher that they would have heard of Kang than they are of them actually running into Kang. Yeah. So, holy shit, that's fucking cool. Now, what does that imply, though? That implies that report about the X-Men invading Toby's universe at the beginning of Doomsday, that definitely increases the possibility that that's an accurate report. Doesn't matter that the person it comes from is a complete fucking douchebag. If the information's accurate, its information's accurate. And it looks like Alex was wrong or being a tool. Was he misled? Or just trying to shoot Gary down because Gary's a douchebag? And he is a douchebag. But if his info's good, then, you know, his douchiness kind of doesn't matter if his shit's accurate. And it's looking like his shit's accurate. But he is a douchebag. Yeah, it's looking like X-Men will be invading Toby's universe and fucking it up. Now, what Toby's fate will be, don't know. Will Toby from that universe die and we'll see another Toby variant? Maybe. Will it appear that Toby dies, but he gets rescued by the TVA and or Loki? Possible. It'll be interesting to see. But it's really looking like we're going to see the X-Men destroying Toby's universe towards the beginning of Doomsday. Which is going to be pretty fucking cool. That's going to be a dope-ass fight. And more than likely, we'll probably get Sentinels fighting for the X-Men. There's that report out there that the Sentinels are actually going to be working with the X-Men. And I have to say, they would come in handy when you're trying to go invade a world and destroy it. Sentinels would be handy. We're going to have the X-Men of 10005 and probably a whole pile of Sentinels invading Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe to destroy it and to preserve their own. That's going to be so fucking dope, Chad. Oh my God. I cannot fucking wait. And if they're... Now, there's two ways you can look at surviving countless incursions. Actually, no. Now, when Josh was talking about this, he implied that they were kind of playing the Game of Worlds, Rabomalal, Destroyer, that kind of thing. But that's not what Shine says. She says they survive countless incursions, each one nearly wiping out their universe. That means they're waiting for the incursions to come to them. They're not going out seeking worlds to destroy. Now, there was a report that said they were. So maybe both are happening. Maybe both can be true at the same time. But what she's talking about here is not, she's not talking about a group that is proactively going to find universes and destroy them the way the Cabal was in the Hickman run. They're just destroying universes when they show the fuck up to theirs. Big difference. Now again, both could be true. They could be mostly waiting for incursions to come, but they could be being proactive here and there as well. But the way Shine stated this is, yeah, they're destroying a fuck ton of universes, but they're not doing it until the universe shows up on their doorstep. So it'll be interesting to see if it's this way, the other way, or a little bit of both. But whatever the case, X-Men killing universes, and we get to see it. Fucking cool, baby. Fucking cool. So what do you guys think? Hardcore X-Men killing trillions upon trillions upon trillions of people. What do you think, chat? I think it's fucking dope. I think it's fucking dope. By the way, that's the last story. So give me your thoughts on that or any other nerdy shit that you may want to bring up. It's that time, chat. It's your time, and then it's time to go. People will go nuts seeing Toby and X-Men on screen together. Fuck yeah, they were. The only hero known in Toby's universe is him. That is true. There is, however, a rumor out there that Doc Ock will be fighting alongside him in that battle. I mean, I would. Oh yeah, like X-Men on Toby. I'm gonna have to wear white pants to that movie, if you know what I'm saying. You wear the brown pants when you're probably going to die, and you wear the white pants when other things are going to happen. Or bring a sock. One of the two. White pants or a sock. Whatever works for you. But if we're going to be seeing stuff like this is going to be necessary, bro. Maybe that's what Cyclops was doing in that trailer scene. Maybe the Sentinel walking behind him might not have been destroying shit of theirs. It might be destroying shit on their behalf. And Shine did say that they were battered, bruised, broken, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, he could have reached his breaking point of being sick of murdering, fucking trillions and let out that scream and ripped his visor off in frustration. Wolverine would probably defeat Toby Spider-Man, though. Unless Toby got into the position where he could literally twist off Wolverine's head, then yeah. Magneto and Doom in 4DX going to go crazy. Yup. The Cyclops scene is pure aura? Yes, it is. You could safely go to a dictionary and put that picture next to the word aura and have that be the definitive picture of aura. Doc Ock and Toby versus X-Men, that will be a massacre. Well, yeah, especially since we kind of know the X-Men universe has to win in order to be in the movie later. I mean, seriously. You thought the X-Men trailer felt empty? What the fuck? I'm just gonna hard disagree with that one. They could. I don't know that they will necessarily, Travis, but they could employ that tritium sun thing of his from Spider-Man 2. And it is a really big power source. And they did dunk it in the river because it was going to cause a lot of destruction if it fucking detonated. So yeah, they could bring that back and have it play a role. Probably in the destruction of Toby's universe, but yeah. Like, I can see liking the Thor trailer best. That one had some hardcore emotional impact too, but like fucking, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm an Ian McKellen stan, but his narration was fucking amazing, and it hit me in the feels. Like I was like, God damn, dude, fucking speak that shit. And then of course the iconic Cyclops thing. So I don't know. McMillan's narration fucking hit me where it counts. So, yeah. But yeah, no, Hemsworth's prayer was fucking intense. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm taking nothing away from the Thor trailer. That fucking prayer was amazing. And oddly enough, my impression of it wasn't that far off. And frankly, I was super shocked when that happened. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? All right, chat. Anything else? Because if not, it's still school night, as it were, work night. I need to get some sleep. Yep. I'm gonna get on out of here, y'all. It's time. I love you. Thank you for being here, spending your precious time hanging out here, listening to me yap about this nerdy goodness that we all love, or in the case of Star Wars, despise. Yeah, you guys are amazing for choosing to do that. I'm very, very grateful. So, pretty please, if you haven't yet, hit the likey button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe and the bell. That goes for you on the replay if you made it this far. Thank you for dropping stuff in the chat. Replay people, please put some comments in this motherfucker. Let me know what you're thinking about the subject we talked about. Okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. So, guys, everybody, have a good rest of your week. And we'll see you back here Saturday. Oh, wait, no. The Saturday's Valentine's Day. I'll let you know. Probably no stream on Saturday. Now that I'm thinking about it. Valentine's Day. Love you guys. Love my wife more. Deal with it. All right, y'all. Much love. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks for being here. Bye. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what Brooke said. Join the Discord, too. Notifications are much more reliable than YouTube's. Do all the things. Hit all the buttons. Join the Discord. Do it all. You'll enjoy yourself. I promise. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. Hope you enjoyed the talk. Hope you enjoyed the news. Hope you enjoyed the speculation. Hope you enjoyed the opinions. Hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for hanging out here in the basement tonight. Really, really appreciate it. So many other things you could be doing, but you're here, and that's awesome. So be safe the rest of the week. Hopefully things go well for you the rest of the week. And we'll see you back here this coming Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will talk about all the nerdy goodness that happens between now and then. Much love, everybody. Y'all are dope. Never forget it. And also, remember this. Wherever you're at and whoever you're with, always keep it nerdy. Much love, y'all. Peace.